Hey everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, January the 24th, with the moon that sets the public tone in harmonious, sociable Libra. That Libra tone wants everybody to cooperate, get along, find win-win situations. Plus, ambitious, assertive Mars is moving into Capricorn on Monday until the beginning of March, till March the 5th, 2022. Mars is a 2-year cycle, but Mars in Capricorn is actually the best sign for Mars to transit through. It's what we call its exalted sign. So the best of Mars can be accomplished. Mars is very assertive, ambitious, goal-oriented, and where Capricorn falls in your horoscope or how it impacts your sun sign, a lot can be accomplished, except not right away, as Venus is retrograde, Mercury is retrograde, so there's still a lot of adjusting, recalculating going on, and the moon will go void of course, which I mention every week, when the moon is no longer making aspects to other planets until it changes signs. And so it's when the moon is void of course, which will be 2:10 p.m. Pacific time to 7:58 p.m. Pacific time. When the moon is void of course, just stay the course, keep with your regular routine, do not make any important new decisions or launch any major new projects. 7:58 p.m. Pacific time, the moon goes into Scorpio, where the moon in Libra is very sociable and friendly. When the moon goes into Scorpio, it's more this energy of more introspection, more privacy, more wanting to look deep within. Now, on Tuesday, as the moon is now in Scorpio, the moon will be in opposition or confrontation to unpredictable Uranus. Now that'll be around 3 to 5 p.m. approximately Pacific time. In the positive, this could be a period where you are open to new suggestions, get out of a rut, try new things, and because Uranus is this innovative energy. But it can also be a time of emotional upsets. But if the more stressful side is triggered in mid-afternoon Pacific time, the moon will then be in harmony with pleasure-seeking, loving Venus by just right after that, from closer to 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So maybe things get shaken up emotionally to then help us get back together. Maybe that's also part of the Mercury and Venus in retrograde. The Mercury in retrograde could be some misunderstandings. The Venus in retrograde is testing our relationships. There might be by mid-afternoon this kind of unexpected upset. But then soon after that, through it's like re-gauging, revising, reviewing. Those are the retrograde energies with the moon, the emotional moon, excellent with loving Venus. So we can get back on track. On Wednesday, with the moon in Scorpio, it's also going to be a good day because by 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time, the moon, the emotional moon, will be in harmony with Neptune. Moon Neptune can be highly creative, empathetic, charitable. And then later in the day, around early evening, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time, now the moon will be in harmony with Pluto. Pluto is the planet that rules the sign Scorpio. So this moon in Scorpio, in harmony with its ruling planet Pluto, is really favorable for deep introspection, meditation, doing a lot of soul searching, having a counseling session, having an astrology reading. Thursday, now the moon is in Sagittarius. Scorpio is more private and hidden. Sagittarius is extroverted, it's friendly, it's outgoing, and by late morning, 10 to noon Pacific time, that moon in Sag is going to be triggering Jupiter, the ruling planet of Sag. There's a lot of optimism. However, you need to stay grounded. Remember, we still have the retrogrades. There might be some misunderstandings because that moon Jupiter, you may have inflated expectations. But if you keep it real and you keep it practical, then the moon Jupiter can bring you some luck, some optimism. Just don't go over the top. And by early afternoon Pacific time, the moon in Sagittarius will be in harmony with the sun in Aquarius. So I think that means during that afternoon, there's a lot, the energies is more comfortable, more relaxed. So whatever was triggered with the moon Jupiter, where you got really excited, I think it will all work out if you did go over the top. Friday, the moon in Sagittarius will be in a hard angle to Neptune, peaking around 11 a.m. Pacific time in those next 2 hours. Moon Neptune can be emotionally unfocused, moody, confused. So it would be best to turn inward. And because if you're trying to interact externally, there may be a lot of misunderstandings with the retrograde planets, especially as Venus is at a standstill, about ready to go direct. So there's a lot of churning energies testing relationships. And on the 28th, the moon goes void, of course, from 11 a.m. Pacific time to the next day, Saturday, at 1:09 a.m. So this is a very long time to just, like I said, stay the course, but really favorable for just reflecting, especially on your relationships. Because on Saturday, the 29th, the Venus now goes direct. So whatever you were revising, recalculating with relationships, your relationship with money, creativity, creative projects, wherever you might have been stuck or where you were feeling this uncertainty, now the Venus wants to start moving forwards. Now, it's going to take a while for the Venus to catch up to its regular speed. So don't be making any really important decisions romantically, creatively. But it's going to be a good day overall, regardless. Because even though the best is yet to come, because the moon will be in Capricorn. And the moon Capricorn is more grounded, more realistic. And by noon Pacific time, for those next 2 hours, the moon's in harmony with optimistic Jupiter. So a lot of people are going to be feeling very optimistic about the future. And the best of all, as Venus is going direct, so it's being this energy of intimacy and love is being supercharged. The moon is going to be aligning with the Venus in the early evening Pacific time from around close to 7 to 9 p.m. That is an incredible time, and it's a Saturday night for romance, for becoming infatuated, or having a real heartfelt conversation over dinner in the evening to reconnect and reconcile any relationship issues. Then on Sunday, the moon continues in Capricorn, will be in harmony with empathetic and charitable Neptune in noon Pacific time. But the sun is going to be in a hard angle to unpredictable, innovative Uranus. The sun-Uranus gives a day. We always look at where the sun is shining, is focusing on the day, is in tension with unpredictable, rebellious Uranus, but it also opens us up to thinking out of the box, thinking about being more open to trying new things. Uranus also has a lot to do not only with the future, but also with technology. So you might be more open for getting involved with more technology, with your website, with an online business, etc. So before I sign off, I want to remind you I'm available for a one-question offer for a nominal fee. To request it, just go to the home page, astrologyanswers.com, look for the tab that says Advisors, click on it, scroll down till you find my name, and follow the instructions. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.